Welcome back to The Future is Female. I'm Omnisupon, joined here by Nicole Pinter. How are we doing, Nicole?
Doing pretty well, all things considered. How about you?
Yeah, we're doing pretty well. I will say I woke up November 1st, and it felt a little bit nice to see the Mariah Carey memes and kind of get into that little Christmas spirit. I know some people are really against it, but at this point of the semester, I need the joy. I need it.
You need the Christmas spirit. There's just something about the Christmas spirit.
How are you going to survive the semester without it? I don't know.
I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Alrighty, well, we got a lot to get into today. Let's go ahead and dive in with the NFL. The Cardinals, Thursday night.
Oh, man.
They lose to the Green Bay Packers in interesting fashion, 24-21. I love that we wrote down here that it just says AJ Green's controller disconnected, which fits that completely perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what happened because, I mean, it was fantastic run blocking. It was great run blocking even. And, you know, and then he was looking for the pass interference call, it looked like. And, well, he got neither a run play nor a pass interference.
No.
So, a little rough. But my biggest takeaway from this game, to be honest, is that the Cardinals were clearly outcoached by a team who was down a lot of their best players. You know, Randall Cobb was their main guy at wideout. And they were still in the game, and they still had a chance to win at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And without J.J. Watt on the defensive side, that's huge. It was kind of a good morale type loss. I know it didn't feel like that, especially when it's Green Bay, but there are still good takeaways from this. You know, they outcoached, outplayed, still had a chance to win at the end.
Yeah,
that's good.
I mean, if you're picking up your first loss of the season and you're in week 8, I think you're doing pretty good.
I would say so.
Yeah.
So this was actually Green Bay's first road win versus Arizona since Week 17, 2009, which is, if you can believe it.
That is a long time.
Yeah. I mean, I know they probably don't play in Arizona that often. They really haven't, other than the wild card games, which they've lost, by the way. But, yeah. Interesting.
2009. I remember when 2009 felt like 2-3 years ago, and now it's like a solid decade ago.
Don't say that. 2007 wasn't 4 years ago? What do you mean? Yes, it was. 2007 was good 4 years ago. As far as I'm concerned, time is a circle. It means nothing. It's relative. Whatever you want to do with time, it's just not real.
No, it is not. But Kyler's 274 yards were definitely real. So were his 2 interceptions.
Yeah, and I mean, one of those was the one where AJ Green's controller disconnected. You can kind of not count that one. Yeah,
that wasn't really his fault.
But, yeah, I mean, 22 of 33, like, the numbers look nice, but, like, no touchdown passes.
Mm-mm.
He didn't get in the end zone himself. Like, yeah, it was a little rough.
Yeah. The Cardinals still sit atop the NFC West. They beat the Rams a couple weeks ago, still hold that tiebreaker. Next up, the 49ers.
Yeah, in San Francisco.
Uh-huh.
So, do you think they'll bounce back?
I think they will. This point in the season, I don't see them, crumbling. I mean, who knows? Maybe at least me, get surprised and they crumble as they, have done in the past. But I think that they can rebound. Especially 49ers. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I say 49ers back ? Because the Bears kind of helped them look back. I knew going into this game. I said Saturday night, I'm like, I cannot wait for the Bears to make Jimmy Garoppolo look good. I cannot wait to see it. And they did. We'll get to that game a little bit later, though. But the Cardinals fall to second in the NFC now, behind Green Bay, obviously. Tampa Bay lost to New Orleans, though. So that's huge for Arizona for that to happen, because they don't play Tampa, so there's going to be no tiebreaker there. So staying ahead of Tampa at this rate is really important if you want for any home field type advantage. They should have it unless it's just an utter miserable collapse. They should have home field for the wild card, if not through the playoffs. But yeah, they root against Green Bay and Tampa Bay going forward, and Dallas. Also Dallas. I forget Dallas is kind of sitting there. I kind of forget Dallas is sitting there as a one-loss team.
Yeah, it doesn't feel real. They just don't. They never feel legit. They're the Cowboys.
You feel like something's gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of NFC West, the Rams today had a blockbuster trade ahead of the deadline for Von Miller from the Broncos.
My God. They still have draft picks to trade?
That's surprising to me too.
Right?
I saw a very funny tweet that someone said they traded for Jared Goff and they're like, or they did trade for him and then drafted him. They're like, oh, I don't want to do this again.
We're just never going to have draft picks ever again.
Stay away from the draft.
Yeah, we don't need it. We will merely just acquire all our players from free agency or through trades.
Yeah.
And somehow have enough cap space for it. Which, again, the cap isn't real. New Orleans has proven that a lot of times. I think LA could probably figure it out too.
Yeah.
But the Rams are sending the Broncos a second and third round draft pick in this upcoming draft, 2022 draft. So let's read off the Rams draft pick this year, shall we? Third, which is a compensatory pick. I didn't say that right.
That's a word.
That's a word. That's a word I can't say. A fifth, a seventh, and a seventh from the Dolphins. Because their other trades, their first went to the Lions. I think one of them went to the fifth round, fourth, third. One of them went to Houston. I think another went to Philly. I'm just naming this off the top of my head. And then they get the Dolphins seventh. Like, I've seen a lot of tweets where it's like the poor Rams scouts, where it's like, it's a meme where it's that old guy kind of just raising his arms.
Yeah.
And it's like, guess I'll die.
Guess I'll just pick up this paycheck for no reason.
Yeah, literally. Like, yeah, now you're scouting for a third rounder and mostly fifth to end of the draft.
Uh-huh.
I mean, for now, that could still change. I mean, it till tomorrow, really, but even then it could still change as the draft goes on and leading up to it. But yeah, it's just hilarious to me how the Rams keep trading away their draft picks. Like, it has to bite them in the butt at some point, right? Wouldn't you think? It has to come back to haunt them.
It will at some point, because when you've mortgaged your future that much, it'll come back to bite you. When all these players age out, when Donald is no longer Donald, when Matt Stafford, as you acquired him, is no longer Matt Stafford. I mean, Stan Kroenke and has the money to keep going around this way, but it doesn't work for a lot of teams.
Yeah. Were the Rams a favorite of yours to win the Super Bowl before the season started? And if so, or if not, I should say, are they one now?
They were, just because I know them pretty well, more than other teams, and I felt like this team could do something. I'm not so sure of them now. They look good. They look good. Okay, yesterday I was watching the game mostly. I had like one eye on it. And they looked great. I mean, they're playing the Texans. They went into the fourth quarter, I think. Gosh,
it was like 38-0.
Yes. Okay. I wanted to say that, but I was like, wait, was it 28-0? It was 38-0. They allowed the Texans, and I don't know, I'm sure they put in second string players and stuff. But they allowed the Texans to then score 21 points, 22 points.
22.
In the fourth quarter. Not great. Like, that game was 38-0 going into the fourth. Like, and then the end of the score looks a lot closer than it was.
Yeah, like the ASU game, which we'll get to.
We'll get to that.
we'll get to that trash, that dumpster fire. But yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you. There is probably second stringers. They definitely let their foot off the gas. I mean, when you're up 38-0 against the Texans, yeah, you can kind of do that. But next is the Rams. Titans. My bad. Titans are next. Sunday Night Football. Now, it's at home. And the Titans without Derrick Henry. But were they favorites? I mean, I like them. I like Sean McVay. I like Matthew Stafford. The defense is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It's
and adding Von Miller next to Aaron Donald
is terrifying. I'm so glad the Bears already played the Rams. My goodness. There's something in me that knows that no matter what I say, the opposite will occur.
Yeah, especially in football.
Yeah, so congrats Rams fans, but because I don't think they're going to win it all. And part of me is like, oh, they're so going to do that now that you said that. But I'm sticking by what I said. I don't think they're going to win it all. I just...
The NFC is just so tough too.
The NFC is really tough. There's something about the Rams where I
just not sold on them completely. I feel that too. Like on paper they look great, but there's something about them that just they don't have it, at least at this part of the season.
It feels like it. I don't know, and I feel wrong saying that, but like
I mean, when they had their Super Bowl run in 2018,
yes,
they looked like they had it. It felt like there was something there for sure.
Yeah, and I think the killer mentality is definitely there with the Rams. I think Sean McVay has adapted better than most coaches, maybe all coaches in the NFL, as far as like what didn't work in 2018 and moving forward. Like he easily the best who's adapted from that as far as newly hired 2018 coaches go. Nagy, adapting concept.
What a concept.
What a concept. Yeah, I have a hard time saying I don't think they're going to win it all, but I don't. But Nicole, who else would win it all? I don't know.
I don't know either.
It just doesn't
tough.
feel like it's going to be the Rams for some reason. I'm not sure.
We'll see in February.
That we will, and I'm sure we will have many predictions leading up to that, and we'll come back to this moment and be like, wow, look how wrong we were. Speaking of the Rams' next opponent, the Tennessee Titans lost a big part of their offense. Talk about the team I'm not sold on. Derrick Henry is to undergo foot surgery Tuesday, so tomorrow morning. There's no timetable for his return, although it's kind of rumored that he'll be out for the rest of the season. So what do? You sign an old running back, Adrian Peterson. Yes, that Adrian Peterson all day. He's 36, by the way, to the practice squad. He was signed to the practice squad with the expectation that he will be added to the active roster, a source told Adam Schefter. Peterson started... Wow, I didn't fix that from this morning. Good job. Just in my notes. Started 10 games for the Detroit Lions last year, rushing for 604 yards and 7 touchdowns on 156 carries. So, you know.
Yeah.
So this is Rams-Titans Sunday Night Football in LA. Listen. I thought the Titans offense was going to take a big step back this year, and in some respects they have. But Derrick Henry has not slowed down. And he hadn't slowed down, and that kind of surprised me. Like, I didn't think he was, I knew he was really, really good, but I thought he was, you'll figure him out, but he is just so big. You can't. Even if you do figure him out, he's going to stiff arm you into oblivion. Doesn't matter. But I think their offense really thrives with him, and it's somewhat dependent on him. I think it's actually very dependent on him. Listen, I love Ryan Tannehill as much as the next person. I am a Tannehill truther. But I think that offense really depended on him. Now they're without Arthur Smith, who's in Atlanta. I mean, they have been all season and looked fine, but I wasn't sold on the Titans before, and now I'm kind of even less so.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Rams should handle that game.
Yeah.
There shouldn't really be a question for them. And if they don't, then that really shows that they don't have it.
Yeah, then maybe we're kind of both right in some way here with the Rams and Titans. We'll see who that game says more about, with the Titans without Derrick Henry and the Rams with Von Miller now on defense. That game just became kind of even more interesting.
Oh, yeah. Because of our build-up.
And Adrian... oh, yeah, it was all us. We'll take the credit for that. And Adrian Peterson, who I kind of forgot. I was like, oh, my God, it's been so long since he played a game. And I was like, no, he played last year.
Yeah, that does feel weird.
But also last year was a lifetime ago, to be fair.
Yeah, I don't know, he doesn't feel 36. I feel like he feels older than 36.
I would have guessed 40.
Yeah, same. I feel like hearing about prime Peterson,
yeah,
that feels long ago. Long.
Well, you know what's even better? He is the only guy on an NFL roster active from the 2007 draft, and he's a running back. The only
Impressive.
guy. Yeah, for a running back to be the only guy to survive a draft this long is really impressive, because running backs usually fiddle out way quicker than everyone else. So. I mean, good on him. Oh, I'll be very interested to see this.
Yeah. And finally, we wrap up the NFL with everybody's favorite segment.
Oh, yes.
Nicole Pinter, the biggest Bears fan you'll meet. She's currently wearing a shirt that says Soldier Fields.
Yes.
Yes.
As in Justin Fields, yes.
Yes. And take it away with Bears Corner, Nicole.
You know, I feel like since one of the, week 3 or something, when I got really, really angry, I've sort of just fizzled out into, like, being very apathetic towards this team. And just being like, yeah, you know, whatever, guys. But that's life. So the Bears dropped to 3-5 on the season after losing to the 49ers 33-22. Multiple drives stalling at the end of the second quarter in general, and then the third was really, you know, the downfall. They kicked 3 straight field goals, and that's what really did it for the Bears. They wanted to keep, also sorry, 49ers fan, because I'm mad at you, and San Francisco native, Susan Wong in particular.
Call out Susan Wong and also say San Fran if you really want to upset her. Yeah.
Yes, that was the plan. I lost to this team. I don't care. San Fran. Losing to San Fran and keeping them in this game for so long, only for them to inevitably win it. You know it was going to happen. It was just kind of how.
Yeah.
As soon as they made it 16-15, because I think they missed the extra point, it was like, man, that feels like it was over. Because Deebo Samuel had 6 receptions for 171 yards, including an 84-yard reception on 3rd and 19 wide receiver screen. And that's when it felt like, yeah, this is over. Because it was 3rd and 19, it felt like you get a stop. You even put even if it's another field goal here, like, okay, we're kind of chilling now. Like, just would like a touchdown, but like we're still doing good. We're stopping them. Offense is moving down the field at the very least. Don't like drive stalling, but it's okay in the lead. Wide receiver screen on 3rd and 19, nearly scoring a touchdown. Not great. As I wrote here, the Bears can only have 1 good unit per game. This is true. We only get 1. Sunday was the offense. The defense stuttered, and Cairo Santos missed an extra point. #sad. Justin Fields, this is kind of a moral victory, though, to be honest, because 3-5, okay, you know, now would have been 500 with the win. Now it sort of feels like, you know, still kind of in the hunt for the playoffs somehow. It really depends on how the Bears play the Vikings, to be honest. And, you know, as long as, like, the Falcons, like, do Atlanta things at the end of games, like, it will come down to the Bears-Vikings for that last wild card spot, most likely, especially with the Vikings losing last night to Dallas. Yeah, like, they're still in the mix, but at the same time, I'm like, I kind of don't care. Like, I'm not going to actively root, and I still care about the team, don't get me wrong, but I'm not going to actively root for them not to make the playoffs as much as it would help the whole Fire and Aggie case. I just don't have that in me. But Justin Fields was outstanding. Like, this offense was outstanding. And you know who wasn't there? Matt Nagy. It was Chris Tabor who was running things because Nagy has COVID. I sincerely hope he's doing better. But I also hope he stays 6 feet away for the rest of my life. If he never comes back to I hope he's healthy, lives a happy life, but I just don't want him in Lake Forest, Illinois, ever again. Ugh, wow. Or in Chicago, or in Arlington Heights, wherever it may be. I just kind of don't want him there, because it felt like a different energy, too, on the sidelines. It was a good moral victory, I'll be honest. It was kind of a good moral victory, and what should have been an actual victory. Justin Fields was 19-27, 175 yards, 1 touchdown, and the 1 pick that's kind of not on him. But I mean, he still made some rookie mistakes, but significantly less than he usually does. His touchdown run was just spectacular. He had a crazy throw to Jesse James in the end zone. He would have had another one if Cole Kmet could, like, catch and create separation, but he's bad. He's not good. There has a tweet that's like, his floor is Kyle Rudolph. His ceiling is Travis Kelce.
That's a high ceiling.
That's a really low floor and a high ceiling. That's not even that low of a floor, actually. That's like kind of a mid floor. We're talking like mid to high. Cole Kmet is not that. I wanted him in the draft. I was wrong. I'll admit I was completely wrong on him. He's pretty good pass blocking, but like that's about it. I'm very out on Cole Kmet. But man, if he could create separation and catch, Fields would have had another touchdown. But his touchdown run was like the most excited I got during the game. I don't know if you saw it. It's pinned to my Twitter if you want to go see it. It's the pinned tweet. Oh my god, he's just so much fun. So much fun. I love him, and I'm very happy to have him. And that is my moral victory, is that Justin Fields is my quarterback. And I think that's pretty dang good. Next is at the Steelers on Monday Night Football, and then it's a bye week. The Steelers just beat the Browns in a very weird game. I don't know if the Steelers are going to have a kicker, by the way, going into this game, because he got lit up. Chris Boswell got lit up on a fake field goal attempt. Should be interesting. This is a really interesting Monday Night Football game that I am so sorry that everyone else has to watch on national television.
Yeah, I was about to say, big time Monday Night Football. Hello.
Yeah, Bears. Sorry, everybody else. We're gonna be doing the show, and I'm gonna be like, yeah. You guys talk. I'm watching.
A Bears Corner live commentary.
It might, you know what? I think it will.
Yeah.
It's gonna be live Bears Corner. The game won't be completed, of course, but Amna. I do believe it is time we moved on to even worse things.
Yes. Even worse things. And that would be ASU football. The Sun Devils lost to Washington State, where their coaching staff was obliterated a couple weeks ago. They lost 34-21. What were they heading into the fourth? It was not 21.
No, it was... Google search. I hit my return button really hard so you could hear that.
Sorry to throw you off there, but like this game was so lopsided. It was so bad.
I mean, it was 31-0 probably going into the fourth quarter. And ASU put up 14 points in the fourth just to make it look like it was a kind of close game.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that game from really the first drive, they didn't have it. You could tell.
Dude, they fumbled on the second play of the game.
Uh-huh.
It was, and they were 16-point favorites going in.
16. And instead, they had 13 drives in the total game, and first two were fumbles, then an interception, a turnover on downs, a missed field goal, a fumble, finally a touchdown, a punt, interception, another punt, 2 more touchdowns to end it. A little too late.
Yeah, a little too late to wake up, guys. I mean, Washington State probably stepped off the gas, too. But one of those punts, by the way, and this is from Devil's Digest, was a 4th and 2 near midfield. I had checked out of the game at this point.
Yes, same.
I think most people had. Left the stadium, like, just before the third quarter started. But Herm Edwards said that punting there isn't a decision he regrets, and that nothing adverse transpired as a result of this decision. What do you mean nothing adverse transpired as a result of this decision? You lost! You were losing, and then you did lose.
Nothing adverse.
That seems pretty adverse to me.
Okay, if you're going to defend punting there, sure, okay. Like, you had a turnover on downs. You did not look like you could convert anything. Okay, fine. But that nothing adverse happened? Like, I get that they're going to try to, like, we didn't respond to adversity, and we're just going to come back next week and do it. But this is so embarrassing. It was so embarrassing. This is a Washington State team that, oh God. I mean, there was so much controversy surrounding them from the beginning of the season to now, where their coaching staff, including their head coach, was let go. And it was a 16-point.
Yeah.
16-point favorites. Ooh.
You want to know another bad stat? So ASU allowed 56 unanswered points since leading Utah at halftime, 21-7.
Wow.
You remember that? Remember leading Utah at 21-7? Be like, oh my God, we're gonna win the South. And now we're here.
It felt like that. It was like, okay, yeah. we're doing something.
Beat
Hello.
UCLA, we're getting on a roll. Like, things are moving finally in the right direction, and 56 unanswered. That is just, there's no defense to that. And Herm has been the same, cookie cutter coach, trying to say all the right things, saying the basic things, cliche as he can be, and here we are. There's no more excuses, man. This is your most talented team since you've been here. Some of the guys you recruited are here now. You can't blame Todd Graham's staff anymore.
No.
Like, that's out of the question. Not necessarily that he was, but also, like, kind of indirectly a little bit in some of his quotes. But yeah, it was just bad. 4 drives, 4 turnovers to start off. Yeah.
Yeah, that was painful.
It was really painful. And I was sitting there. I had the Michigan game on my phone, so I wasn't really paying attention. I just kind of looked up. Like, Michigan and ASU losing are different types of pain for me. Like, Michigan, it's like, it might ruin my day.
Yeah.
ASU, it's like, I just laugh. It's just kind of hysterical
Right?
at this point.
Yeah.
Because it's just, they find the most ASU ways to lose in such ASU fashion. I mean, I don't even know where you go from here. Like, next is, we've been relegated back to Pac-12 After Dark at versus USC, sorry. 7:30 on ESPN. That should be a barn burner.
Should be fun.
Oh, so much fun. Yeah, that's gonna be rough.
Yeah. I mean, USC hasn't been what they set out to be, and since that second half versus Utah, ASU has not been what they set out to be.
Well, and you know the most damning thing, too, is that this was the most embarrassing ASU game easily this season, and in a while, in a season where, as I said, you know, you give up however many straight points to Utah, and then the BYU game, where you had like 16 or 17 penalties, and somehow this is the most embarrassing
Penalties
one.
also killed them this game.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels had a long touchdown run. I forget how many yards. As soon as the flag was thrown, the whole student section threw up their arms and like, oh, we know it's coming back. It's like nothing matters. Everything they do is negated. You know, it was like, Jaden, just run out of bounds. Save yourself.
And it's not like you can say that this is a young team. They're undisciplined. They'll learn. Like, we're past that.
Yeah. And, like, even after the BYU game, like, Herm said, you know, the same things. It's like, well, I don't know why that happened. We got to figure it out. And it's like, clearly you haven't. Mm-hmm. So what are we waiting on? Are you on the fire Herm Edwards train?
It's so tempting. Like, you know, because people want that, like, angry, let's take out the pitchforks and, you know, decide emotionally. But I don't know if I've seen the progression. I mean, there's been progression, but it feels like the same mistakes are happening year after year. And then those things aren't moving forward. I don't know. I'm not always one to, like, advocate for people's jobs. Unless you're Matt Nagy, I'm totally on board now. I've heard all the evidence.
Welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's tough to say, too, because Herm is just also such a good guy. I'm sure a lot of people felt that way about, not a lot of people at USC, they wanted Clay gone, but a lot of people were like, he's a good guy. And just Herm Edwards, like, proximity to Cronkite, and I mean, I've heard him, like, advocate for women in sports and women journalists in sports, so it's tough to be like, I want you gone, but...
Well, and it's funny because Gabby and I interviewed him.
Yeah,
exactly. I am sitting here saying I want.
Sorry, Herm.
It's like,
sorry.
I hope you don't listen back to the show ever since that interview, because I'm sure after that interview, a few weeks after that interview, I was like, yeah, this is bad coaching.
Yeah.
Because I'm honest, Herm. I'm sorry if you're for some reason listening to that one girl who asked one question at that one interview several years ago, which now feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
You're not good at your job.
Yeah.
Good guy, great guy. I think he does a lot of good things. But I liked you better at ESPN on NFL Live.
Yeah.
Like it's.
I mean, I'm sure there'd be a job, you know, a seat waiting for him.
Yeah, ESPN would take him back, I'm sure. Because they all loved him. Again, great guy, bad coach. There was a quote, I forget from, I think it was 360 Sport, AZ 360 Sports, whatever it is, that really stuck out to me. It's not so much that there is bad coaching, just that there's no coaching. That's not the exact quote word for word, but like, that really stuck with me.
That sticks, yeah.
And I was like, that's right, yeah. It's not necessarily bad, it's just there's none of it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's the Herm pep talks, there's the empowered speeches, but there isn't coaching.
And even the passionate speeches, to that I'd say, on the sidelines, I don't see a guy getting fired up. Like,
That's
you know,
true.
he kind of screams composure. I know that
on
kind
the
of
sidelines,
contradicts, yeah, you know, composure, staying calm and whatever. I want to see a coach get mad, right? Like, this is what, I'll get into Michigan in a little bit, in just a minute, but like, that's That's why I love Jim Harbaugh. And that's why I'm glad Harbaugh is back saying his wacky quotes and, like, getting heated on the sidelines, because it was like someone told him not to for the past, like, 2 years. He's so back. I say that as they lost again, another rivalry. But, like, that passion on the side, like, I love that. These guys need that right now, and they're just not getting it.
Yeah.
You know, so tough.
Yeah.
USC should be interesting.
It should be interesting.
But, again, barn burner. Barn burner. Oh, boy.
At least USC beat Arizona.
Are we? I gotta be honest. I don't know if we are going to.
We'll see. We'll see come Thanksgiving weekend.
Boy, that'll be a fun show before the break.
Yes. And moving on. I'm sorry we had to get to this.
I know. I'm talking about Jim Harbaugh, and I love his passion, and he's so back, and then he loses another rivalry game.
Yes.
I mean, if he had won this, I feel like the narrative still would have somehow been like, oh, this wasn't a big game. That Michigan State didn't play well, which, to be honest, they didn't. Peyton Thorne didn't play well, that's for sure. But Kenneth Walker did. Oh, my goodness. So Michigan, if you haven't heard, lost a heartbreaker to Michigan State 37-33 in East Lansing. So Michigan State keeps Paul Bunyan for another year. Michigan was up 30-14 at one point, and I got really excited, feeling like, oh my God, okay, I think it's going to happen. That's my mistake. I've seen, as someone who screams that they've seen too many Michigan and Bears games go the wrong way, just when you think they won't, they do. That's on me for being like, gotta wait till the clock's hit 0, everyone. I'm not celebrating until that clock's hit 0. And I started to get a little excited and a little ahead of myself. My bad. Cade Mcnamara played his best game of the season, though. That's what really hurts, is that he was so poised, and he was 28-44, 383 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception, and the 1 pick was the pick that ended the game. I mean, this was his best game of the season. And honestly, they should have been up 37-14 or whatever it would have been at one point, because early in the game, that killed. I mean, granted, they kind of got the touchdown back, but Blake Corum on like a little out route, and he just started running without it. That would have been another touchdown. That would have put up like 21-7. There was, I mean, I can't talk about this game without talking about ref ball. Like, it wasn't good on both sides. It did actually cost Michigan a touchdown, because that was a fumble by Peyton Thorne on that sack. It should have been like 37-14, or no, it would have been 30-14 at that rate. There was a good deal of ref ball, but also at the end of the day, Michigan State played better down the road, down the line than Michigan did, and that's just the truth. Andrel Anthony, I'm sorry. Have a day. My goodness, was he amazing. And he's from East Lansing too, so this was spectacular. 6 receptions for 155 yards and 2 touchdowns. East Lansing native. This was like his breakout game, and he was fantastic. And Cade found him quite a bit. So that was fun. Unfortunately, Kenneth Walker is really good. I know I haven't talked about him on the show yet, but by God, is he good. And here's what hurts, is in the first quarter, Michigan was stopping him. Like, he wasn't getting more than 1 or 2 yards a carry, like on his first 5 carries through the first quarter. It was like, oh my God, I think if we have him figured out, the game is won. Because I'm not a big Peyton Thorne person, right? I was like, Michigan has that pass defense figured out, or pass offense figured out. Stop Kenneth Walker, win the game. Just, don't mess up. Game is won. He had 23 carries for 197 yards and 5 touchdowns, which was a single game Michigan State record.
Insane.
5. One that was really, really close, because he kind of started to again, why do we do this? Just hold the ball over the plane, make sure you're in, and then you can let it go. It was really close to whether he dropped the ball, as it kind of slipped out of his hands. And everybody kind of knew. I know it depends on who you root for. I think it was the right call was made. It was way too close to overturn. But I also think he let go of it. I do. Again, I think the right call was made. I'm not crying foul here. I don't know how you overturn that. But man, I think it was just barely out. Just barely did he start to let go of possession. But yeah, it was ref ball. A lot of calls didn't go Michigan's way. Again, Michigan State played better down the road. East Lansing was on fire. actually.
Yeah.
Literally, like couches on fire, cars flipped. Why, guys? I know y'all aren't the smartest bunch up there in East Lansing. But...
Oh, shots fired. Yeah, I mean, I don't get that either. Like, why, if you win, do you feel the need to light things on fire? To kick in a windshield of a car and flip it over?
But also, when you lose, you feel the need to
Yeah.
do the same.
I mean, at least that makes more sense. It's literally like, don't do that. That's terrible. It's just sports. Like, you'll get over it. But when you win? And also in the age of social media, like, there was that video going around of that, like, guy, and his face is so clearly shown. And it just, like, all the comments are like, he was caught in 4K. Like,
He was caught in 4K.
This is you. You were caught in 4K. Why?
And there was one guy trying to stop him, too. Like,
Yeah,
like
I mean, he got
once he
punched.
came around.
Did he get punched in the face by that guy?
I would assume. I honestly am not sure.
I think the guy who was coming over to stop him then punched him in the face.
That would seem like the correct course of action at that point.
I think so. I was surprised that didn't blow up into, like, a more of a fight, but I guess he was just so excited that he won. He didn't want to fight, but he wanted to kick in someone's windshield. Question mark.
Big question mark.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. Well, Michigan's next game is Indiana at home under the lights. Indiana's, my brother went to Indiana, so I still kind of have a rooting interest in Indiana a little bit. Obviously not nearly as much as Michigan. So Indiana beating us last year after Michigan was already so bad, I was okay with. I was like, good for them. Good for Indiana. I really like Tom Allen. If Harbaugh, which I should speak on Harbaugh for a hot sec. Should he go? Should he stay?
Should he go or should he stay?
Should I stay or should I go? I don't know the tune. Who are you gonna get that's gonna do it better? Like, tell me that. Matt Campbell? No, I don't want him. Like,
yeah. I mean, that's always the question to ask when you're thinking of wanting a guy out. So who are you gonna replace them with?
Right. See, I think anybody's better than Herm Edwards.
Anyone.
Truly anyone. Chip Kelly will probably get fired at UCLA. Let's bring him in for the second half of the season. Let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens. It might be more fun. It might be more...
That would be fun.
I think it would be.
It'd be fun.
I don't know if I'd want him long term, but like for the last however many games, let's just see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? He might be gone after this weekend. There's like a really good chance. Definitely by the end. He's definitely gone by the end of the season. Again, yeah, who are you going to get that's going to do it better than him right now? I mean, he's been better than James Franklin. If you look at his record, he's been better than the guy who is going to be hired by USC, which is James Franklin, which I'm not saying that as a fact. I just really think James Franklin is going to take the USC job. I swear there is like some, they're waiting for the season to be over, but there's like some win contingency, I swear, right now, that it's like, you get these amount of wins, you'll be hired. I swear. Like, I have no sources. This is speaking hypothetically.
We have some reporting here.
Yes, but it just feels like there's a contingency on this contract. But I do think, regardless.
Sources said.
Sources do, trust me. Regardless, he's been better than, his record's been better. I know Penn State's gone to Indy and Michigan hasn't, but if you let Harbaugh be Harbaugh, which the Michigan president is retiring at the end of this year, and that's like, he's actually like kind of no one likes him, by the way. He's a big reason why the Big Ten like kind of didn't play last year until the last second. One of the reasons. Most of the not a lot of the Big Ten presidents are great. But he'll be gone. It feels like Harbaugh's gonna have just a little more. He can have more fun again on the sidelines and show more passion, which, again, like we've seen this season so far. I like him. I just wanted Don Brown gone last season. That happened. I think the season's not over.
No.
Losing to Michigan State hurts. Losing to another rival hurts. I mean, they're 2-9 against rivals in Harbaugh's time here. That's not great. I understand. But, man, do we really, like, until someone clearly better and Harbaugh gets, like, unbelievably worse, right? I wouldn't fire him. I'm not going through the whole Rich Rod, Brady Hoke experience again. I'm not doing that. You know, could you imagine if Michigan interviewed Brady Hoke again? Oh my God, because he's doing well back at San Diego State. But Yeah, I don't know who you get to do it better. I still like Harbaugh. Call me a Harbaugh truth or whatever. The season isn't over. It's one loss, and Ohio State seems fairly beatable, right? Michigan State just played better down the line. Got to fix that up. Good teams don't lose that game. But there's still a lot of season left, and Indiana is one of those games under the lights. Very winnable game. Should be a nice bounce-back game.
Alrighty. And now we move on to a new segment we're introducing to the Future is Female. Nicole Sicko's Game of the Week. Nicole?
So this... Oh, yes. I sort of introduced this on the Sanchez Wednesdays at 11 here on Blaze Radio, blazeradioonline.com, where I will have the NFL Sicko's Game of the Week. Here is the college Sicko's Game of the Week. And boy, do we have a Sicko's smorgasbord this week. So Sicko's Game of the Week is games that are only for sickos, right? Like Illinois Penn State, like as I talked about a week ago. What's it, last week? Jeez. It's the best worst game where you don't want to watch it, but boy are you gonna. Or at least you can bet your bottom dollar that
or at least
I will
Nicole
be.
is. Yeah, exactly.
Because I am a football sicko at heart. So this week's Sicko's Game of the Week, UNLV versus New Mexico. UNLV is still looking for their first win. New Mexico, I have to get IT on this because for some reason I didn't write this down. How many wins do they have? No, give me the schedule. There we go. They have 3 wins. So we got a winless team versus a 3-win team. And oh boy, I did research, Amna. I did some research
I'm
on these
looking at
teams.
it.
So New Mexico is a 2-point favorite going into this game. It opened as a 1-point favorite. The over-under is 45 for the whole game. which
rich.
I think I might bet the under. I might talk myself into that. New Mexico has the second to worst offense in the FBS, averaging 253 yards a game. UNLV averages 296.3 yards a game. That's 8th from the bottom because it didn't put numbers next to the team, so that's where that's at. This is, I think, all according to ESPN. UNLV averages 19.6 points per game. New Mexico averages 14 points a game. Oh, and this is my favorite stat. This is where the research really, really happened. New Mexico has scored the second to least amount of points this season at 112. Yeah, second to least. That is less than UMass, who is 120.
Wow.
UConn with 146 and Vandy with 134. A Vandy team who struggles to get past the 50. A UConn team who is just sad UConn, who just got their first win not that long ago and almost blew it.
Stick to women's basketball.
Exactly. And UMass, who is just sort of a sad state of affairs. Only Southern Miss is lower than them at 109.
Southern Miss. Aw. Southern Miss.
Yeah. 112 all season. All season. We're eight games in. UNLV has scored 157. This is paradise. As far as I'm concerned.
Sicko paradise.
This is sicko paradise. This weekend is sicko paradise. I'll get to those games in a minute. But we have some of the worst offenses, some of the worst defenses. Someone has to win. I mean, could this be UNLV's first win? I don't know, but I'm going to enjoy every second of it. I'm only mad I didn't start this segment sooner because I could have talked about UConn UMass and UConn versus Vandy, which, by the way, I watched both games in full.
In full.
In bulk, yes.
You're not making me want to watch this, but you're making me want to pay attention to it. I'm
Doesn't
intrigued.
it sound entertaining?
I'm intrigued.
I mean,
it's like 2 dumpster fires facing each other.
8 games in, only 112 points. I thought they were the least, and then I looked a little bit, and Southern Miss was 109, and I was like, dang it, I really wanted them to be last. And a UNLV team who kind of played well-ish against ASU. Wow, I almost did the broadcaster thing, but I think I would have finished instead state. But, yeah. Oh, man, this is sicko's paradise. And this weekend, too, it is a smorgasbord. We got Illinois versus Minnesota at 9 a.m., which is Big Ten Heritage. This is Big Ten Heritage football. I know Minnesota is good, but, like, did you see what Illinois did to Penn State? Oh, yeah, expect the same thing. Cal versus Arizona at noon. This is a Cal team coming off beating Oregon State, who for, 1 week was the best team in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
And a Cal team who is also not good, also one of the worst offenses and also scored some of the least amount of points all season against an Arizona team that is still looking for their first win. I think, what is the streak now? Like 17, 16, 19? I don't know. It's
Too long.
Too long. Kansas State at Kansas. That's at 9 a.m. A Kansas team who I want to say is also looking for like their first or second win. Just fantastic football going on. UNLV New Mexico is at 4. And then I also included in Sicko's game Paradise ASU versus USC at 7:30
Truly
on
sick.
ESPN. Truly sickening people. Only sick people would watch such a thing as Pac-12 After Dark.
Yeah, it's sad that there are 2 Pac-12 matchups on this sicko paradise.
Well, to be honest, I didn't start this when Arizona played Colorado, which is also my mistake.
Oh yeah, that would have fit right in.
The easy games to pick for Sicko's game of the week are whoever Arizona's playing, whoever Colorado's playing, whoever UMass is playing, whoever UConn is playing, and whoever Vandy is playing. So I'm really trying to kind of stay away from the easy ones. Those are just kind of layups. But yeah,
I'm intrigued.
there is a Twitter account called the Sickos Committee. I would like to be a part of. I'm putting in my official application because I am a sicko. And enjoy the sicko game of the week. UNLV versus New Mexico. You better bet your bottom dollar I'm betting on this game.
What are we doing? The under?
I think I'm doing the under.
19 points in 14 points.
Like, I think this could end 10-7. I know I say that about a
It
lot
very
of
well
games.
could be.
But 10-7. Do I hit New Mexico -2? You know what? I'm gonna take UNLV +2.
Ooh.
I'm gonna take UNLV +2. The 10-7 final score doesn't do me favors there, but I feel like they get it done this week. I feel like they finally get their first win in Las Vegas. However many UNLV fans there are gets to celebrate. But alas, we move on.
The NBA. They released their City Edition jerseys for the year. We will rank them next week when we have our other co-host, Gabby Ducharme, back with us. But Nicole, other than your favorite team,
Man,
which ones were your favorite? No, you can totally talk about the Bulls.
I'll talk about them second. I'll mention Phoenix real quick. I love the Valley design. I really want a shirt of that. I think it's really cool. It's really pretty. It's really visually pleasing.
It is.
But I am a sucker for the black and gold. Toronto's. While I know they could have done purple.
No, I like it.
But these are so nice.
Yes.
They still got the Raptor playing basketball.
Yes. They're black and gold. With a dinosaur, a raptor.
That's a raptor.
Let's be specific. A raptor in the middle, with a basketball on it. They're sort of older logo, right?
Yeah. Like 90s logo or something.
Oh my god, as you zoom in, the raptor is wearing one of the newer jerseys. That's fun.
Hilarious. I love this.
And there's like a pinstripe on it, but it's like a lightning bolt almost. It's fire. It's
so
beautiful.
Nice.
The Bulls is also, I will say, is also really nice. That one stood out to me too.
Yeah, and as I put here, since you bring up my Bulls, they're just throwbacks from when Jordan was drafted. They ended like the year after they stopped wearing them and started wearing what they currently wear like the year after Jordan was drafted. So he wore them for like a year or two. But they are so nice. They remind me of Christmas for some reason. I don't know why.
They do kind of look Christmassy.
Right?
It's the red, the shade of red.
And the writing.
Yeah.
Chicago. They're just so nice to look at.
It's giving Santa Claus.
Yeah. I love them. What about you?
I also want to shout out Charlotte, where the other Ball brother plays. It has a similar font to the Bulls one.
Yeah.
And it's kind of moving upward in the same way. But it's gorgeous to me. Like there's a gradient going on, and there's like some scalage up top.
Scalage.
I guess for a bee, like a beehive type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, wait, what are their things again? Charlotte to me, I mean, I know the NBA really well. It's not that I don't know it. It's just that Charlotte is so irrelevant to me that like I had to remember what their name was. But you know, LaMelo's bringing them back with some swag.
Yeah.
And the lines are interesting. There's a random green one that I'm seeing as I zoom in, and I don't love it.
It's throwing me off, I can't lie.
The green one, I'm seeing it now for the first time. It's definitely jarring. Like, why is it there?
It keeps it from being one of my, like, top 3 for next week.
It's the darkest one, too. Like, the darkest line. Okay, I take it back.
Oh, no.
Slightly take it back. You're not my favorite, but you are definitely good. The Lakers one looks retro, and I kind of wish it was a little bit more fun, but it looks good.
I like purple. I'm a fan of purple.
Yeah, the purple looks good. Purple looks good. Yeah, I think those are the ones that stick out to me. The ugliest one, I have to say, has to be the Spurs. I don't know the backstory behind it, but this color it's making me nauseous a little bit.
There's a lot but a little going on at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to, like, say my worst without mentioning the Nets. Sort of also throwback City Edition jerseys. Those are really nice. The worst one. There's a lot of these are just kind of throwbacks, interestingly enough. Atlanta is somewhat of a throwback. Indiana's are somewhat of a throwback. Boston's somewhat of just a throwback.
It's literally just a throwback.
I don't know the Clippers that well. Probably somewhat of a throwback. Washington, literally just a throwback. But they're nice. I'm not complaining. The worst. And Julian Rosa, if you were listening, I'm so sorry. It's probably not, but if he is, Miami.
Yes.
Because they could be so good. That's why they are worse than everything else.
They had the best ones for, like, years running.
Yeah. They have the colors. The Miami Vice colors are so nice. It's Miami. They have to be nice. And we're doing the different things with the fonts. MI.
No.
Am I running out of time?
Anyways. A little bit. But we'll talk about this more next week.
Oh, no. That was a TikTok reference.
Oh, I thought you were being serious.
Oh, no. I was kidding. But anyways, yeah, and like I just noticed the numbers are different too. Gross.
Yeah, it's like a graphic designer's worst nightmare.
Yeah, graphic design is my passion. That's what that jersey screams. Is graphic design is my passion.
Says a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
That's what it's giving.
Yeah, it really is. So Spurs. Okay, let's just go second worst real quick.
Okay.
I kind of want to hear it. We'll probably rank our top 3 worst next week anyway. But now I'm having too much fun with this.
Ooh, I'm looking at Dallas. I didn't even realize that was Dallas.
That does
not look good.
I was thinking that one too. I was right there with you. Yeah, it's what are we doing? The blue's nice. Why are we green? See, you can
and
mix
also,
blue and green really well.
It's hard to read, and what's in the background?
It's like a basketball hoop.
It looks like a baseball, like a brainy baseball. That's what it looks like to me.
What in the world?
Yeah, it is. It's rough.
It's not good.
Mark Cuban, get your act together.
Yeah, like it's just, and the lines, like, you know how it, like the green on the outside makes the
it
jersey
definitely
look slimmer?
Feels like 90s.
It screams 90s fashion in the worst way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like their blue is really nice. You can mix blue and green together really well. Like Tulane does it beautifully. But it's also not an easy thing to do at the same time. And Dallas, you just haven't quite figured it out.
No.
I will say.
On the court or
yeah.
with these jerseys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll get more in depth with that, more than we already have.
Yeah.
Next week. I wanted to throw in a little tidbit. The NBA celebrated its 75th birthday today. It's Grandpa.
Aww.
They played, the first game ever was the Toronto Huskies versus the Knicks. The Huskies. I learned that today. The Knicks won 68-66.
Thrilling.
Today, the Raptors, yeah, I know, super thrilling. The Knicks and the Raptors played today at MSG, and they won. The Knicks won. Or Toronto won. No, I have that wrong. Toronto won 113-104. Definitely a difference in the scoring. Yes,
yeah, a little bit.
And the seats sold for 75 cents. So that's fun. And also a little tidbit. I don't know why this was a promotion, because it seems like a very random one, but anyone taller than 6'8" got into that first ever game for free.
What the heck? What?
I don't know why. I don't know
That's
why.
so mean. And you know what? That's not even mean to short people. That's mean to most people.
Like, I mean, it was 75 cents. Like,
75 cents, $1.25 too. Yeah.
I'm terrible at, like, math in general, so I would not be able to, like, figure out what 75 cents would be worth today. But, like, it's 75 cents. It can't be that much, right?
75 cents would be a lot less than what tickets are being sold for today.
Yeah.
For reference.
Absolutely.
They would be about $50 less than they should be.Maybe even more, because depending on where you sit.
Yeah. Someone's name who I can't pronounce, Aussie Sheckman. I'm so sorry for mispronouncing your name. He scored the first ever basket, and I would recommend anyone to go and watch that. It's a very, like, 3-man weave. They're just throwing the ball to each other as they run down the court, and then he throws in a layup. So, it very old school. You can see why it was 68-66 back in the day. Obviously, there was no 3-point no 3-point line at the time. But yeah. And I also like to point out, a lot of times when thinking about the 75th birthday of the NBA, the WNBA just celebrated their 25th. So, you know, it's hard to compare the two so much. But we are running out of time here on the Future is Female. But it was so fun, Nicole.
Yeah, I had a great time.
We have not done a show, just the two of us, so that was great. We will be back here next Monday with the Future is Female on Blaze Radio on blazeradioonline.com.